Frith. Hope all is well. In this video, I'm talking about proper stance, which I have in the Uru section in my book. I'm just going to work my way up the body. When you begin a Rune yoga practice, I always suggest being in Isa, and just finding stillness and stuff. You can do that even with your legs or your feet slightly apart, right? And just from the standpoint of it's more stable when you're tight and close like this. It creates your weight of your body is not necessarily proportionally right. So just by having your feet slightly separated in alignment with your hips is a great way to really work on grounding and centering and finding balance. So in Urus, I talk about working with a proper stance, which I learned in internal Taoist alchemy tradition. So basically, starting with the feet, when you have your feet out like this, it creates a different energy flow. Same with if it's like pigeon-toed in. So you really work on just having the feet parallel together. I mean, if they're off a little bit, whatever, because it really ultimately all our bodies are different and it's starting from different places. But ideally, we want to get to this place where it's parallel and balanced in underneath the hips, right? Not out too far, like in some form of horse stance, but more of just having it so that our weight is evenly balanced throughout the body and it's sinking down into the ground, right? The knees are not going to be over the feet, and you're not going to have them like straight up locked, because both of those affect the energy flow. We want it just so that there's a gentle bend in there to help loosen it up and allow blood flow and everything else, energy flow flowing up the legs freely. With the hip, I'll tend to like stick out my butt and then tuck it in, so it gives us that difference in experience, right? And then you can overextend and find that center point where it's tucked in and sinking, right? So that the energy is sinking into the earth, right? Right. The chest is not like overextended and it's not caved. It's just it's gently lifted, and the arms slightly roll back. And so what that does is it helps pull the arms from the side of the body, which pinches lymph and other things going on in the body. So it creates that like just the natural organic parts of our body are flowing better. And of course, if that's the case, then the energy flow is going to be flowing more freely through our body. So working up the feet parallel. 9 points of the foot, of course, rooted down and visualizing the roots growing from the feet. Right, the knees slightly bent to allow the free flow. The tailbone's tucked, hips are squared. Your torso is squared. Chest is slightly raised. Shoulders rolled back, right, so that the arms are off of the side of the body. The chin is slightly tucked, and the back of the spine is slightly extended. The tongue, the mouth, the eyes, the jaw, all that stuff is relaxed. Imagine that there's this cord or string holding you up, so it's like extending you up, and you can feel it as it extends your body. And then while in the stance, in the stance, everything is relaxed, right? From your toes to your nose and the top of your head, tip to your finger, everything is relaxed, right? We're learning to relax, to soften, to allow the energy to do its thing because it knows what needs to be done. So this stance is helpful throughout all the practices. So even when we're doing movements and stuff, like if we're working with Raido and we're just doing walking meditation, have it so that, work on aligning your walk, creating that center, making sure that you're tucked in, that your weight is grounded and sinking down, but at the same time, it feels like something is pulling you up, like so it's light up top and heavy on the bottom to help with the grounding and yet not being stuck, right? So as you go through all the practice, this is something you carry with you throughout, all the way, even with Tiwas, with the hop, with jumping, and then of course, like with Fei, you're bringing your awareness into it all. So you work with subtle differences. Maybe you have the feet in different ways, different out, maybe further out, maybe further in, just to play around, experiment, and see what happens. All right, so till next video, be well and be blessed.
Odin, Thor, Freyr, Freya, Sif, Frigga.